All right. We are live and bringing all of our listeners a holiday special of Dome, a holodome, if you will. Am I right? Am I right? Oh God, that is. Oh, whew.
Oh my gosh.
That was. Oh, yeah, oh my God.
Oh, oh my. Oh my.
I
Oh,
think I just did a little poop in my pants. I was laughing so hard.
that was good. That was good.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. It's the only thing keeping me happy right now nowadays that after taking a fat flipping L. But we'll get to that. Um, yeah, so we're back with our holiday edition. We're bringing Dome a little early on a Tuesday. Uploaded doing it early too, considering our normal time to start is 5. It's 4. A little after.
And we're a day early.
Yeah, I thought I established that with the whole Tuesday part.
Yeah, you might have. I wasn't really listening. There was a something on my phone that drew my attention. But I'm back. I'm in it. I'm here.
What what was it that drew your attention just out of curiosity?
I'd have to pull something on Reddit. Just this little Asian person getting angry.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Um, well, hey, why doesn't our guest introduce themselves?
Interesting.
That's weird.
We.
I don't hear anybody, do you?
I do not.
All right, that's
Does
because we
that
don't
mean?
have a guest this week.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Oh my gosh, dude, we got everybody. We got everybody.
That we have knocked everybody off the fucking list. The only things I could wish for are having Wardle get his own epi and
Which
having
he's,
which
let's
he's
be honest, he's a little too cool for that.
that's true.
He's like,
That's true.
oh, I only go on if I got my entourage.
Right. And
People
then
that can kiss my ass.
that's exactly what he wants. That's exactly what he's asking, especially after winning big this week. He of course he wants that. And then we need Loesch to have his own epi too, because
Do we?
since he has been a co and he's crashed one, but he all yeah. So that's it's
I
all
mean,
done.
we kind of gave him his little spotlight that he wanted when he crashed.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, well, either way, we have had everybody have a presence on Dome, and this is the first time that has ever happened.
Yeah.
So, big accomplishments here on Harambedome, and now we're kind of just hitting the restart and refreshing with a little holiday epi of just the two hosts.
Let's
So
get it.
let's get into it. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the loser of the week, and if you don't mind, I'll kick it off, loser of the week style.
We start with loser. Maybe I'm out of
Oh wait,
sorts.
no, I guess maybe this whole big accomplishment has got me messed up. I think we start with winner, right?
I really, at this point, I don't know. I'm kind of confused now too.
Oh,
But we'll start with loser. Go ahead. Jump into it.
yeah, we'll switch it up. Hey, new stuff on. This is a new season of don't. Right? We're switching it up. All right, loser of the week. I'm gonna have to say my loser of the week here, and this is tough because all the losers are losers, big time. I'm gonna go with Field Day, newly changed name Field Day from Lamar Stand.
Okay.
So he's committed. Team manager James McClendon, JB McClendon as he prefers, his friends call him, has committed to
Oh yeah, I don't think
Justin.
you can call him that.
Wow, and I kind of thought we were friends.
I mean, it's not it's not just assume things, but continue.
That's fair. All right.
Field day, your
Yeah, I'll
loser.
discuss with him. Yeah, he's committed to Justin Fields as his starting quarterback for what may be the rest of the season, depending on performance. Benching Lamar Jackson. And I want to say this is going to be very interesting heading to the trade deadline Because what's he going to do with Lamar? Keep him on his bench, move him for a piece? What do you think?
That's a good question. I didn't realize that he had fully committed to keeping Justin Fields in that starting spot.
We had
Honestly,
had we had had
I thought that
conversation about it.
yeah, I thought the reason Justin Fields is up there, I figured Lamar would have was on a bye or something. I didn't actually recognize that Lamar was playing and that Field Day is no longer a stan of Lamar,
Exactly. And not only that,
despite
but
being his number one stan a week ago.
exactly. It's a big flip from being. Can you really call yourself the number one stan if you're flipping like that, though?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Nah, I doubt it. But um, it's so anyway. Not to trail too far into this point, but also let's keep in mind that Justin Fields did better than Lamar too. So his choice is so far a good one.
Yes.
So I guess we'll see what happens with Lamar heading to the trade deadline, which is again November 30th. So 8 days at noon. So 7 days and some hours at this point. Um, but why he's loser of the week, in my opinion, is because he went into the game against a descending Loesch. We all thought he had it in the bag, right? As we were just talking before the pod, could have sworn
Yep.
he had it in the bag. He was good to go. He got the dub. He beat the Loesch. But that's probably because what commonly happens, we looked at the projection showing him with probably a very high percent chance of winning 80 something, maybe 90s, right? Because they're going,
Correct.
what was left off of Loesch was the projections, and could those projections reach what JB had? And so obviously it didn't look like they could, so he was projected to lose heavily. But then Travis Kelce took place.
Yep.
33 points. He's had a 4 touchdown game. Now he has a 3 touchdown game for the game winner, by the way, that third touchdown. If you watch the actual game, like,
Yeah.
dude's
Secure
going
the hat
nuts.
trick and the dub.
Say again?
I said to secure the hat trick and the dub.
Exactly. And this guy is 33 years old, Kelsey is. So he's really not a young dude.
No, he's not.
But he's balling. 30. Oh, and he scored his age. 33.5.
Interesting.
That's very interesting. And then obviously Christian McCaffrey and Ayuk had a nice combined 30. So basically
Oh,
him
you
and
can.
Ayuk, he went into this. JB went into this up massively, and then basically with his last 3 players, Cole put up 63 points and
Yeah.
stormed away with the dub. So
Yeah. On JB's side, when you get a performance of 40 points from your running back and then another 30 from a wide receiver and a serviceable day from your QB, you probably sit back thinking, all right, good week, good week.
yeah,
But
and
then,
126, not a bad week at all. I mean, decently over 100. Yeah, you think
yep,
you're sitting pretty. The difference in this game, because it's not. I mean, his tight end went off, right? But Cole didn't have a running back that went for 40. Cole didn't have a
correct.
receiver that went for 30. The thing that made the difference actually in this is the special teams and defense and
Yeah,
kicker.
yep,
The Bengals defense and Nick Folk combined for -1 total for JB, where the swing on Loesch's end was 27 points for McManus and the Cowboys defense. And so that right there, that's
yeah,
literally
it's
the difference
massive.
of 112 for Cole. If Cole had what JB had in those two spots, he'd have 111, and JB would have won by 15. So yeah, that
Crazy.
Big L throws JB more into the this was like to keep up with what's going on with Va, to keep up with the faux king who got a dub and now is 6-5, right? This was a big
Yep.
loss to their close to bottom of the barrel over there in the West.
Yeah, it
So
definitely had effects on the playoff bracket. I think he dropped from 4 to the 6th seed.
there you
So,
go. So he's teetering now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, massive implications, as the descending Loesch would say.
I agree. That is some big swings, big L. I think that's a good loser of the week.
Yeah, that's what I got. So you go ahead.
So I'm gonna go ahead and hand my biggest loser to none other than Big Kirko Thuggin Cousins.
Big Kirk. Okay. Hit it.
Big Kirko takes an L. Can't score over 100. If I'm not mistaken, he's like bottom three in points for.
Hmm.
He was streaking for a little while. I'm trying to find where the streak is, but I think he's on like a 2 or 3 game slide now, and just
Four, I
continues to
think.
plummet. Is it 4?
He was
Goodness, that would.
he was like 5-1, I think, at one point. No, 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 no. He was 5-2. He was five
Yeah,
and
I can't.
two. Yeah.
Either way, I can't find it right now. But just the fall that he's taken. At one point, he was second in the East. Now he's last in the East, and I mean, shoot, he as of now has Big Kirko benched. He's starting Jimmy G. So he's already going back on his namesake. And I mean, who knows what would have happened? I mean, I don't know, dude. It's just not looking good for the man. He's out of the playoffs. He's in that L bracket. His team can't seem to put up points. Takes another L this past week. Um, yeah, he's got to be my loser of the week, just because of everything that's happened to this point to him.
Yeah.
For a while he was you. You're like, oh man, if this guy comes up on me, he's only a couple games back, blah blah blah. And now sitting at 5-6, last place in the East, playing in the losers bracket.
Worrying
Not
about
good.
eating waffles.
Yep.
Which
Or
I do want to take a quick tangent, just real fast to mention this, since I thought of it saying that. So we pretty much as a league decided that of the four options I put in that poll, you get to choose which one you want to do as the loser. And as less fun as that is, we did as a league wait until mid-season to decide this. So I guess some grace makes sense, right? Do you agree with this? Do you agree with everything I just said?
yeah, I'm just more so upset that we didn't come up with the punishment prior to and just cement one in, because ultimately if you get to pick your air quotes punishment, is it really a punishment?
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say no, only because one of the options on there was loser buys the winner dinner, which was our punishment for like 2 years, which obviously
And
wasn't really a
it,
punishment; it's just hitting your wallet.
and what
And
loser is not going to pick that?
yeah, and that's of course, yeah, exactly. And I think that was at the end of the day. I think on one hand, it's good that we did settle on something concrete so that there's something and we don't just go with nothing. But on the other hand, I do think that we had every reason and ability to pick a punishment before season started, and we just didn't. So
Yeah,
I think if anything, this season should just be a lesson to make sure we're on our shit, picking the punishment and making sure everyone's good with it before the season starts.
I
Um,
agree.
because I would like to see that Waffle House one because I wanted to bring this up and I'm good with saying it now that I think we're concrete on the whole choose your punishment thing. If the Waffle House thing is something we choose next year, concrete, um, because I know Matt was saying about having stomach issues and you can't pound that many waffles down and if you have an actual medical like that sort of thing like that's obviously that warrants not pounding down 10 waffles. But correct me if I am wrong, but the Waffle House challenge doesn't require you to eat a single waffle.
Correct. You could just sit in there
You
for
just sit there for
24 hours.
24 hours, right? And
Yep.
even if
And
you
Waffle House waffles aren't that big.
right, and so even if you can't stomach a bunch of like all that stuff, and that's totally understandable, it's still not an unreasonable punishment. You're just in the Waffle House for 24 hours, which blows, but that's why it's called a punishment,
Correct.
right?
That's
So
exactly like sit. No one wants to sit on a plane for 18 hours, but it's a punishment.
right. So I would say that I really like
No
the
one wants
idea of
to
that.
eat a hot chip, but it's a punishment. I agree. I like the Waffle House shit.
Yeah, I think it was gaining traction too there with the vote, and so I think I just didn't. The thing is like with us waiting till midseason, and obviously at this point there are clear people who will be close to the bracket or in the bracket, or that it wasn't. I don't think it was as fair to just stamp something down and say someone had to do it if it wasn't unanimous. But I think we can justify the Waffle House for next year. I like that one. I think it's a good one. And I think we could actually set it in stone pretty early now that we've thought of it this early because it was gaining traction.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm down to hear other ideas too. I just think the bottom line is we need to decide on the punishment prior to the season.
yeah, yeah, I agree, and I think it should be settled. I think it should be settled a bit before. Not like not
Yeah.
draft night, not like let's.
Nope.
I
Yeah.
think when we first start recollecting when the league, I think like when league activation is possible and we can reactivate and start thinking about that again. I think we need to decide, like, have a discussion right about there and decide.
I agree. Around the
Um,
same time that we start proposing changes to the league, all that stuff, we need
right.
to our little league summit. We kind of have to.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, everyone's willing. I mean, I know because, I mean, anybody that, even people we don't hear from as much, were voting in the poll with the punishment, like everything. So I think everyone's willing to talk about it and do it. It's just, um, we just have to, you know, actually set it in stone. So, um,
Correct.
that said, we'll get back to your point, which is which I mean I agree. I couldn't agree more. Big L. I think he traded for Kirk Cousins with me, and so he starts him expecting a solid 20 like he's been given, and then he gives him two. Man, two. Like starting Jimmy G would have given him the win. He would have beat Varun if he just started Jimmy G.
So I was gonna say that, but I didn't actually look at it. That's factual.
That is factual because he lost
Jimmy threw
by,
4 tutties, right?
yeah, he lost by, well, let me double check myself, make sure it's factual. He lost by 27. Okay, Jimmy G put up 34 and Kirk put up 2, so that's a difference of 32. So yes, he would have won by 5 if he had just played Jimmy G.
Wow.
And that's gotta sting. I mean, I know I was on the other end of the trade, but that does have to sting if you're the trader, and that does happen to you.
Oh, 100%. Especially if you were riding with Jimmy for how long?
I think he had him for at
Multiple
least a
weeks.
week, maybe 2.
Yeah, that's tough. That's real
Yeah,
tough.
and well, let's see. He had picked up Jimmy. He picked up Jimmy October 23rd. So he had been rolling with Jimmy for like 3 weeks. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, you hate to see it for him, but
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, I see him in his lineup in week 7. So week 7 he started Jimmy,
Was it just week
and then
7? Oh no, week
week
7.
7, week 8, week 9 he had Derek Carr, 10 he had Jimmy, and then obviously last week
So he
switches
started
it up
he started Jimmy for 3 weeks.
to honor his namesake, and his namesake forsakes him.
Yeah. And yeah, maybe this is a lesson about emotion in fantasy because I know I've learned that lesson before. But
True.
he had told me straight up with the trade that he was emotional reasons he wanted Kirk. So,
Well,
um,
then maybe to really hammer home that point of like remove emotions, you should trade Pat for Aaron and start Aaron the rest of the season.
you know, um, that is one that I won't do. I won't do that.
Seems
Um,
pretty emotional.
yeah, I think it's no, I don't think it's emotional. I just think it's not wanting to root for the Packers.
Because of emotions. But
Well,
either way,
well, I mean, we can we can talk about that, but it's just you know, hey, fuck Aaron. And that's not an emotional statement either. That's just fuck Aaron. So
oh, it's just saying like you would.
no, no, I'm more into family men,
You're just
family
like
oriented
stating like a
men.
matter of fact, like, oh, fuck Aaron.
Yeah, like just he sucks.
Oh,
Yeah, but um, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess we all play with emotion to a bit of a degree, but like last year, how I wouldn't draft not only Packers but Vikings and Bears, and I lifted that because I figured that's there's way too much talent throughout those three teams, but I wouldn't waive the Packers. And yeah, emotion, I guess. I will not. I refuse to have roster a Packer, but I've gotten better than what I was before.
There.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think if there. Yeah, I mean, I would take some Dolphins. There's no Jets really worth taking. Maybe Brees Hall, but I didn't draft him mainly because I didn't know if he was actually going to be any good. And
right.
then he tore his shit. So, Pats. I've had the Pats defense. Obviously, I had Nick Folk last year, so
Yeah,
I kind of abandoned that thing when I drafted AB that one year that he had was on the Pats.
yeah, and to be
Or I
fair, I mean
kept him on
that's
my team when he got traded to the Pats.
yeah, no, and to be fair, it is. I mean, objectively better to not rule out players based on you know not wanting to root for them and stuff like that. But there's also, I mean, there is that balance of enjoying football, real football, and then playing fantasy, and not wanting
Yeah. Now
to.
that being said, most times I bench players that play the Bills.
Right, and for you, I see that more by the Lions. Typically, not anymore, but usually midway season, especially during the Matty P era. At that point, I don't care anymore because just run it up on them because their record's already
True.
1-8. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, in your position with the Bills, I could see why you wouldn't want to start players against them. But you did it with Jetta though,
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to not do.
and he went nuts too. I mean,
Yeah, he did.
how I actually, you know what? We're on it right now, so let's just. I've been meaning to ask you this. Genuinely, what emotion did you feel when Jetta caught the 4th and 18?
I was furious that Buddy didn't just knock the ball down. Like, why are you trying to make an interception? I get, I understand, like, heat of the moment, you're in the game, you see ball, get ball, but dude, you got to have, when you're at that level, and I'm not saying I can play at that level, not at all. But when you're at that level, I feel like you got to have that mindset of knowing situational football, knowing that it's 4th and 18. If I catch it here, we're in far worse field possession than if I'd knock it down. And
Right,
if you watch the play, our defender pretty much helps Jetta make that catch. Like he's trying to make an interception and he's holding the ball in Jetta's hands for him.
yeah,
So if you just swipe that ball away, not only do we get the ball, but that's most likely game over.
right.
So furious. That's my answer.
That's
Because
that's
he had
definitely fair.
already put up points. Like he had already had a good serviceable day. I didn't need anything else from him.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, that's fair. I also wanted to throw in, you said in there when you were talking about that stuff that you couldn't play at the NFL level. I think you don't need to be that humble because your pump fake is better than every starter that is
Let's
playing
just
right now. So
okay. I'll accept that. If I go in, put me in on a little gadget play, they'll be like, "Oh, what's this guy do? Oh shit, he's throwing. No, he's running."
exactly. No, I'm telling you. I mean, if you can fake out Verdandi, you can fake out anybody in the NFL.
Yeah, especially 15, 20 yards down the field.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, that's just that's like Madden rating. If they had a pump fake, it would be as high as it could go, and that's exactly what would put you in the
well,
NFL for those type of plays. But
well, I appreciate that.
yeah. So let's move into our winners of the week. We'll switch it up. Go ahead, start. What do you think?
All right, my winner of the week, and I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna have to say follow Spike
Do it. Yeah,
because
hundred
dropped the
percent.
fat 150 despite what I thought was going to be some Monday Night Miracle with Kittle.
Yep.
Um, dude, I mean, follow Spike streaking, and it's not look. I don't like it because I think I play him next week, and I'm on the brink of making the playoffs, not making the playoffs. So I really hate to see him streaking. Love to see him beat you, but
Yep.
yeah, he's gonna take my winner of the week. I mean, spot starting Joshua Palmer getting 30 points, Najee scoring a cool 27. His kicker doing well, Jets defense hanging in there, and ultimately not being let down by Zach Wilson.
Yep.
It's just a good all around team effort, and gave him 150 points. just enough to take you out. And if I'm not mistaken, you would have beaten everybody else in the league.
You are not mistaken. And
Yeah.
I could not agree more with your winner of the week. I want to throw in a couple points real quick because always credit where credit's due. I gave Tuck his credit when he beat me. I'm not giving credit to the faux king because that was a faux loss. The count should have stopped at some point there, and no, but really it was that was a fluke L there. I mean, there's no fluke L's because it's Harambe's will, but I that basically fucked the fake king.
I would
Um,
agree.
yeah, but now for L3, follow Spike. Which, by the way, I'm tied. I'm not the best record anymore. I'm tied with Va now. We're both 8-3, and Tuck's only one game behind. So it's
Oh,
starting to come around.
starting to get spicy.
Yeah, to get spicy and all that. So I mean, we're right there. But yeah, for loss three, against Dad, especially since he talked shit and backed it up, and then talked about me engaging in that L, so he double shit talked, which makes it even worse. Um, yeah, I was, to say the least, I was furious at this. Furious because I watched as Najee Harris plunged in a pointless garbage touchdown for 6 points with no time, with 45 seconds left in a two-score game. Um, and what pisses me off about that shit is when clock is running and you have no timeouts. Typically, even if you're on the one, you throw it to not run more time. And that's what happened to Nick Chubb, and why Nick Chubb on the one didn't get a touchdown when they were trying to make some moves on Buffalo and get close. They were right on the one, and instead they threw it, a 1 yard touchdown. Because that's normally strategically what you do with the clock running. But nope, they decided Najee would plunge it in. Not to mention Najee had his fucking best game of the year by a long shot. He was
Yeah.
ass, total ass up to this point, and then he looked like a fucking top 10 RB. Um, Josh Palmer, don't even get me fucking started. I literally sat down to enjoy the Chiefs game. Chiefs, uh, Chargers, hoping, oh man, this is gonna be a nice duke out her versus Pat, and I know her, Pat's a little bit better, so might be able to keep it close. I'm up by 20, and then like literally the first flipping drive, what we have a literal 15-point swing, or it's like a 25-point swing. 6 points for Herbert for the touchdown, or 8 or something, and then Josh Palmer had 15 on one play, and I was
Yeah.
losing, and I was like, okay, fuck this, turned it off, and that shit blew my mind because Palmer doubled his best day to that point. Um, and I can't even talk about my running backs not doing that well because his running backs didn't do well, so that kind of evened itself out. Yeah, it was just, I mean, and Kittle had his best game of the season. It didn't even matter because
Yeah.
it was almost a little miracle win, but yeah. So frankly, I will say that I am quite furious at this. Um, but one of those games you got to deal with them. People have been dealing with them all season. I actually haven't had one like this yet where I lost and I would have beaten everybody but the person I played. So I mean, it's just it all comes
Yeah.
around.
Those sting a little bit more than others.
They do, yeah, and everyone has to deal with them. And this was my first one of the season, so yeah, it hurts. But I will say this, and everyone knows they do this. If you make a big trade, and you've made a big trade this season, one or two, I think, right? One with me, and I don't know if there was another one in there, but I've made what I
Yeah.
consider two, one with you and one with Matt. So obviously you know you're looking at the other player and seeing if they're popping off and if you fucked up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so it was the one takeaway that I can appreciate from this is that obviously I wouldn't have Paris Campbell in there if I had D Hop still, and that's the only thing that's different. And so if you switch those players out, I still lose, even though I lose by I think 3 instead of 7. So
True. And
um,
there's no moral victory, so
no, yeah. So that
being
that
closer doesn't really matter.
that makes me feel like obviously the rest of the season still has to play out, and Chase has to come back and be what I think he could be when I made the trade. But at least right now, it's nice to know I didn't blow one just for making that trade as early as I did. So,
Yeah.
um, Yeah, I'll say that. But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, when you put up the most points in the league, your team goes nuts. I mean, I bet. I mean, I looked at his team and I said, oh yeah, I've got this in the bag. Barring Harambe's will saying otherwise, because like, oh Josh Palmer, oh Najee, like like literally, I was thinking that about those guys, and they went nuts. So
Yeah, and sure enough, Harambe's will.
yeah, Harambe's will always be done. So anyway, I guess that'll lead into my winner of the week. Who winner of the week? I am gonna have to say my winner of the week is there's a few close ones, a couple close ones. I think I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with Bums. I'm gonna go with Bums. It was between Va and Bums. I'm gonna go with Bums because Bum
Okay.
had a great week, top four scorer, and obviously close with Ascended Loesch. Um, he obviously with only well, week 12, 13. Yeah, there's only 3 games left of the regular season, right? Three? Or is it
Yes.
four?
Yeah.
3 games left. You're right, you're right. There's only 3 games left in the regular season. And he just widened the gap and took the tiebreaker over you and is up two
Yep.
games. So there's like, he basically increased his shot at, you usurping him in any way, which is big. And so, I mean, your team, you put up over 100. I mean, obviously not your best week, but you did over 100. And Bums just went nuts. I mean, Amari Cooper, 28. Joe Burrow did his thing. He's been rolling. Jamal Williams, man. So, Jamal Williams is position rank 11. Okay. So, he's just outside the top 10. But listen to these weeks 16, 7, 25, 31, 7, bye week, 8, 22, 12, 13, 26.
For someone that you would expect to be a sometime flex.
A sometimes flex, yeah. I mean, Jamal Williams, he is a goal line merchant, but the man is a stud.
Yes.
I mean, he leads running backs in touchdowns this season, and they're almost all coming from the 1 yard line, or the 2 yard line. But the man is a stud.
Yeah, I
Number
mean, shoot.
11.
He had 3 this week, right?
He had
And
three.
seeing, I had Derrick Henry play on Thursday. I'm like, all right, sick. I got 30 points for my running back. Maybe Eckler could match that, but no one else on his team is going to get 30 points. No other running back on his team is going to be able to get 30 points. And sure enough, Jamal Williams, just about.
Yeah, he literally almost matched Henry by 3 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's huge that Tuck has that diamond in the rough there with Jamal Williams. And then obviously he's got, he started. I mean, and not that a bunch of other people popped off, but really all he needed was that. I mean, 28 from Amari Cooper, by the way. Damn, like
Yeah, that was tough.
Amari's wide receiver 8.
And especially because it was against the Bills, so I'm watching it. I see someone catch a touchdown. I'm already pissed because they scored on the Bills, and then I hear the announcer, Amari Cooper. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yep, that makes it even worse. Makes it even worse. But
I
yeah,
was,
yeah, man. It was a good win for him. He's 1 game back from me, and I think I have the. So when it comes to me and him, we each won a game against each other. So the tiebreaker would be points for, and currently, my points for to his, I have 1482, and he has 1349. So I'm over 100 above him. So that's gonna
yeah.
be. It is gonna be hard for him to overcome that. I'd probably say. Um, so that means he'd have to usurp me record wise, most likely, and so that means with 1 game back and no matchups against each other anymore, definitely doable if he wins and I lose more. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, because like I'm playing you this week, which we'll get to, but he plays the slipping Big Kirko Thug and Cousins, so There's a very
Yeah, exactly.
strong scenario where we could be tied next week and I could still just own the division by points four and then going into another week. So, 2 more weeks left. So crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that. I do like that dub of the week because I mean, even Joe Burrow putting up 37 points. That's huge. That's huge for him. And it's not like I can sit here and say, "Oh, Traylon Burks scored 16 points on my bench. If I would have started him, it wouldn't have mattered." So no matter what lineup I put in there, I don't think I would have been able to beat him.
No, and that's a better feeling though if you're the loser, in my opinion. It's in my opinion it's better to know there's nothing that you could have done rather than something you did do and fucked up.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still an L.
Oh no, yeah, L's don't feel
They all
good.
they
It's
all hurt.
they
They
all
all hurt
hurt,
the
but
same.
some hurt more than others. It hurts more when, like for example, I switched out Zeke, not last minute, but earlier in the week against Wardle. I know Wardle makes the point, well, if he tinkered, he could have changed things and still won by more. And yes, but I tinkered Zeke out. He didn't really tinker, I don't believe. I tinkered Zeke out and I would have won by one if I didn't do that. That stings
Yeah,
more than getting blown out by dad. And no matter who I put in, I would have lost.
true.
But that's just me though. So, um, and with that, let's transition
Well,
into.
I do want to give a little honorable mention to,
All right, throw it in there.
much as I hate, to the King of the West, because with that dub over a team that would have been an easy pick for loser of the week, but I just think it's not fair to continue to pile on this man who's just clearly having serious team issues.
Yeah.
But King of the West with that dub jumps into second. He's helped out by the descended Loesch in beating Field Day, and yeah, I mean, getting that second place in the West, I'm pretty sure with that. Last week he was in the losers bracket. Now he's the 4 seed.
Yep.
JB dropped to the 6 seed. So just a lot of implications from his dub and a lot of positive implications for him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It's true. He's second place now. He's behind Va. 2 games behind Va though, with 3 games left. So not sure
Yes.
if he'll be able to capitalize. If I look at I'll pull up his schedule right now. Just if we want to break it down. So he played Va and lost. Oh, he plays Va this week.
Oh,
All right, let's go ahead and let's roll into our matchups of the week. Why don't you go ahead and kick it off for us? Matchup of the week.
all right. So looking at the matchups this week, I think it's fair to say that El Clasico is always a good matchup to keep an eye on.
Agreed.
But I am looking at Big Kirko versus Bums R Us because, as you stated earlier, Bums R Us is on the rise. He's 1 game back from you. Obviously, we went into the whole points for or whatever, so he's really probably like a game and a half or whatever behind.
Yep.
But with Big Kirko slipping, and I anticipate winning this week, that would bode very well for Tuck because shit, he picks up this dub. He's right in the mix. He's tied. He's tied with you for top of the league, at least record wise, and
Yep.
who knows what can happen weeks going forward. So I mean, projections, they don't mean shit. They got bums winning though, but just looking at the bigger picture and what a win for Tuck could mean, that's the game I'm looking at.
Okay. I like that choice. Yeah, and also projections don't mean shit. I was projected to beat Brennan by like 16 this past week. So
Yeah.
again, projections don't mean shit. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's a big one. I will say though, if I were to lose and he were to win, there's also a scenario where Va wins and holds the single best record at 9-3. So
True.
there's that possibility. But yeah, I mean he literally, if I were to lose and he were to win, which I don't anticipate happening, but again, Harambe's will. Um, yeah, if we tied, the only thing holding him back from first is points four. So, and I mean, I'm up on him like I established by over 100, but it's like 110, 115. So he could make ground. He could make ground on that by like maybe I would imagine 40, 50 points possibly. So
Good.
potentially more. Who knows? I mean, you could probably make as much as 60 point if I had a real down week and he had a real good one. So that would we'd be close. So it's I don't want to let it slip. I don't want to let it slip. I'm hoping that after this week, Harambe's will be done. Hopefully, I can take down Thug and Cousins and Thomas the Spank Engine to finish off the season. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I want to give a quick honorable mention to our matchup since I feel like whatever guest was in here might probably pick it because it's obviously you versus me. I got the first one, but you could come in and tie this thing up in terms of our matchups. Um, Implication wise, the Bills also do play the Lions this week. Wanted to bring that up on the pod.
Facts.
So that adds a little spice to the El Clasico. That
Which I
would
was mentioning earlier. It's funny how the week we match up in fantasy, our teams match up. The week that I played Matt, the Vikings and the Bills played. So
Yep.
I don't think there's any other explanation for that other than Harambe's will.
Yep. Nope. Harambe's will is the only thing to explain that. And if you doubt that at this point and you're in this league, I can't help you. I'd imagine you're heading towards the losers bracket. So, yeah, no, I mean it's crazy. And what's interesting is I know they're a couple games off, but what's funny, I'm seeing this on the screen right now because the NFL scoreboard's up. Looking at the players we have playing in the games. What's funny is I'm 8-3 and you're 5-6, and the Bills, and obviously it's flipped, but the Bills are 7-3 and the Lions are 4-6. So it's a little,
That's
similar-ish
interesting.
record because we don't have bye weeks like they do. So it's just funny. But yeah, no, it'll be another El Clasico. This will be the first time. Oh, this. You know what else would be a good thing about this El Clasico is we made our trade a couple weeks ago, right? And the first week Saquon was on the bye and Justin Jefferson did fine, but then the next week they both went off, and then this
Yeah.
past week they both did shit, and so
Yep.
now it's like it's been pretty much the same thing. And like I guess the one thing I can say for the first week is trading him away didn't cost me the week, and Jefferson did his thing, so that's kind of a null and void week. So yeah, it's kind of been pretty even the trade. So maybe this could be the week that even breaks, and maybe one does significantly better than the other, and we see maybe at least trade winner up to this point with this game.
Yeah. Could be. Or it could just be a trade like trade should be that mutually benefit both teams, and there's not necessarily a winner and a loser.
Yeah, which it
I think
had.
that's a
Well,
I think that's
winner
a
and the
bad
loser
way
in
to
the
look at
context of
trades.
us playing each other.
Yes.
But yeah, no, and like I said, up to this point, it's been exactly what we thought the trade was when we made the trade. When we were GMing it on the phone, getting the trade done. Yeah, I mean, it's worked out pretty much how we thought it would work out. Both
Yeah.
sides has pretty much gotten an equal deal, and it's seemed like it's helped. Like my running back core has boosted, and your wide receiver core is boosted. So
Correct.
good trade, but we'll see if, like I was saying, we'll see if we get if this trade helps one of us win this week. But anyway, moving into our next segment here. Oh, well, actually, no, I got
Yeah.
that
What
was
was your
my
featured?
yeah, that was my honorable mention. Forgot about that. I went too deep into it. So my matchup of the week that I'm looking forward to that isn't ours is the King of the West and JJJ. I'm very interested to see this matchup. I think that King of the West has a chance to get it one game closer, and if he can win this, he evens it up, and then their standings goes to points for, and as of right now, points for is King of the West with 1266. So similar to me in Tuck's situation, Va has him by about 120 something. So
Okay.
winning obviously would shrink that gap a little bit, even if it's just by 20 or something like that, which would put him in a position to maybe make a run here those last 2 weeks and maybe upset and capture the West Division like he does most of the time because he was Mr. Bye Week for the longest time in the West. So I like the matchup. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it would be interesting to see the Faux King win. And I think I'm actually going to root for the Faux King because I don't want Va to go to 9-3 in a week that it's possible for me to drop to 8-4. Because I know Va, as we all know, Va's a little shit talker, and I know I'll get text messages if if he ends up taking the lead. Oh, you should have seen it. I never said this, but he there was one week, it was a couple weeks ago, because I pointed out on the pod, or at least I pointed out to him that there was one week in there where he went under 100 points because he had a bunch of bye weeks or something like that. I think if I'm looking at his full schedule, I'll pop it up right now. He week 8 he went 92 points and lost to me. And so I said, "Oh, look, I'm the only team left that has scored 100 points every single week." And then the next week, I had a bunch of bye weeks, and I went under 100 points, and he messaged me like literally the minute the game was fucking over. And I'm trying to see. He listen to this. So it was the Monday night game. It was the Monday night game, and the game ends. What usually those Monday night games end at like 11, maybe 11:30 if it goes late.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I get a text 11:19 p.m. on November 7th, Monday, sub 100 week, and that was it.
He was waiting.
He was lurking
He was
and
just
waiting. So
waiting.
I called him out the week before.
Because that probably made him furious.
Oh yes. So I
He does not
know
forget. It's like a little elephant.
yeah, he's lurking and he's waiting to just tell me that he has the lead in the league. So I'm
That
hoping
he's got the best record.
Yeah, and I hate those little texts from him because they're so slick. There's nothing. He just doesn't say much, but he implies a whole bunch when he sends it. That he's like just the most attitude. So yeah, I'm hoping that scenario does not happen. But again, it's all Harambe's will. But yeah,
Yeah.
that makes the matchup I'm excited for, Varun and Wardle.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna definitely have some implications. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yep. All right, well let's shift into our next section here. Now I know you made a little slick comment about carrying the pod by doing the offers report and doing the budget summary. So I'll just go ahead and do the offers report.
The only thing that kind of stinks is we don't have as much to do today because it's not offers day, but
That's true, but
we'll be able to catch up next week.
yeah,
It's a holiday season.
it is. It's always different on the holidays, but we'll recap what we've seen so far. So we did the last episode on Wednesday as scheduled, I believe. That was
No, we did it Thursday.
oh, we did it Thursday. Okay, so we did go over the Marcus Mariota ad. Yeah, we did. Okay, so
Correct.
I only have two. So essentially, Friday, Loesch spent. He does it again, man. He spent $4 on Latavius Murray on a Friday. No clue why. Maybe there was because they hadn't dropped Gordon yet. So
Nope. And the King of the West dropped Latavius. Let's see, not Wednesday or Thursday. So it's not like he was fresh on the waivers.
So he just likes opening his wallet to open it up. He's that reckless spender kind of guy where he ends up with $0 and we go back and trace everywhere. That's me too. But we go back and trace everywhere he could have saved money. He's one of those.
Well, he's also one of that I'm going to spend money so these guys think I have money.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's making flashy moves just to kind of show off. There's no reason to do it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look at my account.
Yeah, like, oh, you can't spend money for no reason? That's crazy. That sort of thing. Yeah. Because, like, the other two moves here were $0 bids. I added Higby because I thought about the fact that Cup went on IR and Stafford was coming back, and I figured Juwan Johnson was more touchdown dependent than anything. So I added Higby, stash him on the bench if anything happens to Kittle. And then I added
Yep.
Paris Campbell, who I can't say he didn't play out. I mean, he had been hot with Matt Ryan, and he gave me 9 points. Little disappointed because the 3 games with Matt Ryan since he got hot were 15, 18, and 17. So 9 is a bit of a disappointment, but it is, it is what it is. It's Paris Campbell. So, made that ad. And then on Sunday, right before game day, Michael Gallup was added by field day. James Robinson was dropped. And then he's on
Glad
IR.
money was spent on Gallup.
Yeah, money was spent on Gallup. And then the Bengals defense, money was spent on them. And he dropped the Raiders defense that day. So spent $6 on a Sunday. And then Varun added the 49ers for 0.
Which is interesting. I didn't even realize the 49ers were on the waiver.
Yeah, that is interesting. And Varun had them prior. So that means he had dropped them. Because they had went, it was 13-9, 22-15, but then it went to 3, -2, 5 bye week. So a month of
Yeah.
no real defense. Val must have got frustrated, but then picked him up, and then it's 8-10. So picked him up after that 8-point game. So okay, and that's the offers report.
All right, good work.
Thanks. Now let's get you going into the budget summary.
This segment is absolutely riveting. So, what we're looking at here, you got it pulled up?
It's up.
With the most amount of money in the league is Brennan Lasher, follows Spike, $88. Trailing him with $77 is Field Day. So I can understand him spending money. He just wants to, empty his bank account. Doesn't want to carry too much over to next year. Behind him is JJJ Varan Patel with $65. And then Ted Siemens, the Spank Engine, with $63. Behind that $63 entry is a $52 Ascended Loesch Cole Popovi. Not too far behind him at $51 is Living in Babylon. That's me. Let's see, 51, and then we go to the faux king, the fake ass king of the West, James Wardell, $47. And we're looking at Bums. Bums are us, sitting at $30. But before him, I always, for some reason, skip this guy. I just overlook it. Big Kirko Thuggin Cousins, Matthew Gantier at $32, and then Tuck for $30. And then we got Biting Kneecaps, Sean Howard, sitting at $8.
Yep, sitting pretty with that.
The newly engaged Sean Hayward.
Oh wow! But thanks.
I gotta. How was that?
How
was your heart just racing?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, because I'm sure you were obviously you're confident that she's gonna say yes. You guys have been together for a while, but I still feel like actually doing the deed, actually asking, is pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it was really nerve-wracking. I planned it out to have both of our sets of parents there too, so they were watching from afar.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was, yeah, no, I mean, it was super nerve-wracking. And then we also ended up having the people that were sitting outside the restaurant, the random girls who recorded it, and actually, thankfully, they did, because the videos that my parents got and her parents were awful quality. So glad they airdropped that video. It was cool to see that. But then, yeah, it was good. It was the one little side story that goes into it is as I had the whole dock walk planned out, and so we were starting to walk down there, and then there was just this fucking family that had walked out onto the dock right in the spot that I was going to, and they were just casually standing there for like 5 minutes, and just looking out, just looking out. I mean, they had no idea, but they were just. And I was like, we had gotten down there at that point, and it was probably about 2 whole minutes of us just standing, waiting to walk out, and
Yeah.
it was kind of embarrassing. And the sun was going down, so I was like, I can't because by the time when it all happened, we got back to. By the time we got back to our seats, like walked up the dock back to our seats to like down to eat dinner and all that, and by the time like we had like hugged all the parents and stuff and sat down, it was dark. Like the sunset was gone. So like the timing was great is my point. And I was like sitting there like, if they stand out there till the sun goes down, like, oh my God. And like it was,
Yeah.
that part was frustrating, but also funny. Like in the moment we were laughing, so we just could not believe, because she knew what was coming. So,
Yeah.
we were just laughing because it was funny, but it was, yeah, that part was also kind of frustrating too. But yeah, no, very nervous. Just because, yeah, the gravity of the moment's big.
Yep.
Whether she knows or not. But yeah, no, it was good. So yeah, the
That's
newly
awesome, though.
engaged, and then thank you, I appreciate it. And then engaging in an L in fantasy, as said by Dad. So
As roasted by Dad.
and then yeah, using my engagement to get roasted from Dad. So love it. That's what I
That's
get.
pretty fun. I didn't realize that those were randoms that took the video of you on the dock.
Yeah, total randoms. Yeah, and the audio they were saying like, "Is this a proposal?" Like they had no clue it was coming. And they were nice enough to come over, like probably about 20 minutes after we had sat back down and stuff. And they came over and said that they took a video and congratulated, and then asked if we wanted them to airdrop it. And like I said earlier, thank goodness they did, because it was a really good video, and the one that my parents and her parents got were just, I mean, love them, but they were awful, awful
Dog
quality,
shit. Yeah.
just terrible quality. So,
It's like, have you guys ever recorded a video?
yeah, and I wasn't. I mean, I figured they would be recording, but I wasn't expecting on caring how the recording turned out. I was just, like we were going to take pictures once we got back up there and stuff, and so, but to have a recording that actually ended up looking pretty cool was nice. So it'd be nice
Yeah.
to kind of have it, but yeah, so good stuff. But now, moving forward into the dome seg, we got our icy hot takes, sponsored by Shaquille O'Neal. So, look, I'm gonna be straightforward. You said it last week. You said it when we had Tuck on here. It's been implied before. It's hard to be the host and keep coming up with icy hots,
It
good
is.
ones. It's hard. Um, but let's. You got one?
Honestly, um,
Honestly,
no.
no.
No, because I want my take to be that Tuck overtakes the East, but then that would contradict my take from last week. And that can't happen.
What was your last week take again?
You secure the first seed,
Yeah.
and then you end up taking an L.
Yep. Yep.
Do you have one? You have one in mind?
Um. So yeah. My icy hot take is actually gonna be a hot icy take. I'm switching it up. The hot comes before the icy. So here's the hot take. And as much as it pains me to say it, the faux king does the unthinkable, and he overtakes JJJ, who's had a grip on the division similar to me with the East for since week 3. He overtakes JJJ on a points for. They end with the same record. This is the hot. They end in the same record, but he manages 10 more points for in these last 3 weeks to go ahead
And takes the number one seed?
takes. I don't know about the
Or
number one
takes the,
seed, but
the, the, the sorry, takes the first West seed?
he takes the first West seed and regains his name, Mr. Bye Week. And then here's the icy. He loses the first game after his bye week. Because that's usually, aside from his league winning season, that's what happens to him.
Yeah, that is a Wardle move. Just
So
catch fire and fumble in the playoffs.
Yep. So I'm giving the hot icy this week.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, shucks, that would be insane. If Va, I hope Va fumbles the first place in the
Oh,
West because
if that little troll fumbled the bag, that would be
oh, it'd be the best.
that would be great. It starts this week too, and pretty
And
much. I mean, it has to start this week. It has
I
to.
don't usually air I don't usually air my distaste for JJJ, but he is a little shit talker and he doesn't really do it to me, but I've seen some texts from him to you. And so I'm just going to say on air, Va, you better hope we don't match up in the playoffs because I'm coming for you
Okay.
if I can make the playoffs. But I'm rooting for your downfall, pal.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Which, by on that note, unfortunately, I will say he did lock the playoffs 100% after the dub last week. So it's me and him at 100 right now, and me losing, I'm
That's
still locked at 100. So I think that is actually correct because I know Ted had the whole 0 to 1, and that made me question everything. If I could go from 100 to 99, but no, it looks like I'm locked in, and so is Va.
Yeah, and I mean, me saying that, I probably won't make the playoffs now, and Va will be able to talk his little shit and just make me even more angry. But I don't know where to go with this icy hot take. To be honest, you know I'm looking at follow spike here.
Here we
Man's
go.
on a heater.
Here we
The
go.
man is on a heater. And
Damn right he is.
this week he takes on the descended Loesch. So he'll get this dub, and he will move into playoff contention. He'll be up there after Field Day takes an L.
Okay.
He will jump into that number 6 slot, but then he'll lose his last two, and he'll be eliminated from the playoffs and smacked right back into the losers bracket because he will not make the playoffs.
Damn. Wow.
So his little
Okay.
heater will continue this week, and then week 13 he faces a powerhouse
Oh
living
yeah,
in
who's he face
Babylon,
week 13?
living in Babylon,
Oh, the
and
five
he's
and
not
six,
taking that dub.
the 5 and 6 powerhouse.
We were dealing with some stuff, all right.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
So I mean, not a great icy hot, but shit, what do you expect from me? I've given 13 of these.
Yeah, no, we've done quite a bit. So, all right, not bad. All right, so for the final segment, we have our oh, well, again, we'll do a quick. We'll throw this in now. It can be brief from here on out since we're close. We'll analyze the playoff bracket. Um, so looking at the playoff bracket, me and Va had the bye. I had the number one seed because of the tiebreaker between me and Va for points four, and well, not even points four. I beat him, so we only match up once. And then Bums is third, matching up against Field Day at the moment, sixth, and then you're matching up against the Faux King, 4-5. You and the Faux King
Which
would have a cute little matchup there.
which could possibly be a back-to-back week matchup because I face him the last week of the season.
Oh, if that holds up, that would be interesting. Um, okay, and then yeah, in the losers bracket we have Thug and Cousins facing off against Follow Spike, who's 7 seed, so he's right there, and then the bottom tier is the Ascended Lotion, the Spank Engine. So yeah,
Early predictions: who loses the league?
man, you're gonna make me say it. Well,
For me, it's hard not to say Spank Engine. Looking at, I mean, anyone can put together a run, but I'm just real worried about the young feller. Guess
yeah,
he's older than me, but
anyone could put together a run, but he's gone 3 straight weeks not putting up 100.
yeah.
And not only that, oh wow, get ready for this number. Since week three, he's put up 100 twice.
Oh, no
And
way.
both times he put up 100, he lost.
Oh my goodness.
And when I say 100, I mean 100 literally, and then 105.
Oh no.
So he hasn't had 100 since week 8. Now it's only week 11, so he's gone about a month without gone less than a month without 100. But the 100s are scattered in there. He's had 100 since week 4.
Oh my goodness.
So, and it's not. I mean, we're talking about it. And it's tough, but it's not. I mean, it is. It's a tough situation, especially you don't want to with the injuries he's dealt with, and um, I mean, he has. I mean, if you talk to him about it, I mean, I'm sure he would bring up that I mean, DeAndre Swift got injured and hasn't been the same. Cup on IR. He had to
Yeah.
drop one of his high pick running backs because was Javonte Williams tore ACL.
Oh yeah.
Who was doing okay. I mean, I think he was putting up running back 2 numbers. I can't remember before he got hurt. Maybe he was more of a flex, but I can't recall. Um, we
Daryl Henderson just got dropped.
Daryl Henderson, and he had Cam Akers, and the Cam Akers experiment failed.
Oh no.
Remember that he drafted Cam Akers. His running backs, if I'm
Yep.
remembering correct, were no wait no I'm wrong. I think Cam Akers was Matt. I think Cam
Yeah,
Akers
yeah.
was Matt.
Yeah,
So
Cam Akers was
I'm
Matt.
wrong on that. But
But
anyway,
his boy
even me
Gibson
with
didn't he loves his little buddy Gibson, and he hasn't performed tremendously.
I mean, he's given him
It's
not
tough.
overall, but he's running back 15 in the past since week 7. He's 19, 19, 9, 15, 15. That's RB2. So
All right, so I'm wrong.
he's given. I mean, RB2 is not bad. I mean,
No.
Terry McLaurin same way. He's wide receiver 13. He's given him. He's more hit or miss there, but Rondell Moore, a guy for him who had just been doing okay, is hurt for the Cardinals. And Aaron Rodgers, as we know, I mean he is QB10, but I mean he's not doing anything special. Like I'm sure Ted
Yeah.
expected him to do. I mean I'm sure Ted expected one 30-point game from the guy by now, right? I mean we're 11 games in. He hasn't hit 30 once.
Yeah.
So it's I'm sure Ted loves that. He almost made the whole pod without getting shit on, and now he's listening, and now it's just all in on his team right before the end. But
Well,
yeah,
I tried earlier. I tried looking at his team and just seeing where it went wrong, because I don't remember after the draft looking at his team and thinking, "Oh, this team's gonna only have 2 wins." Like,
right. No, I didn't either.
but
I
yeah,
absolutely didn't
injuries,
either. No, I mean I thought Ted was set to do well, and yeah,
injuries,
that's
busts, everything else.
yeah, it's tough. So that said, now we'll hit our final segment here. Watson's final standing projections, sponsored by Snickers. Maybe the team just needs a Snickers. So not much changed. Basically, is where we're at. Yumi and Field Day all moving up. Spank Engine down at 10. Me still at 1, and Voss still at 2. Kirko actually dropped, and Faux King went to 7, where he was projected to be. So Watson is
Okay.
moving some things around, and Tuck's moved up to 3. By the way, you were sitting at 3 for the longest time, but now you're sitting at 5, and Tuck's sitting at 3. So love
Yeah, a
for Tuck. And
couple L's and a little shakeup of my team had me drop.
and Loesch, after his win, went back to 4th. What is going on? He was just at like 9.
Where do you see 1, 2, 3, 4 ascended Loesch? Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
He's not even in the playoffs.
No, he's in the last losers. This doesn't make sense.
He's not even in the playoffs.
He's not even not only is he not in the playoffs, he's seed number 9 of 10 with 3 weeks left, and he's projected to finish 4th.
So, just further proof that the only thing that matters is Harambe's will.
Exactly.
Projections ain't shit. This
Nope.
final standings bullshit ain't shit. I'll trust the playoff bracket because that's mathematically calculated, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
Even that's
shit.
sus because Ted went from 0 to 1.
Yeah,
How do you go from
the
no
playoff
chance
projection.
to a 1% chance like 2 days later? How does that happen? So
I don't know.
weird, but yeah, I mean, hey, that's the pod. So big games this week. I hope everybody who listens to Harambedome has a very, whatever your listener is. If you're one of the league members or if you're one of the random listeners who we feel like has been tracking this based on video views, um, hope you all have safe holidays. Um, you
Happy
know,
Thanksgiving
happy
or whatever
Thanksgiving.
you
Yeah, we'll be
celebrate.
yeah, that's fair. We'll be back before Christmas, so I shouldn't just say holidays. Help you all have a good Thanksgiving, a good holiday week. Be
Well,
festive.
you can't say Christmas because not everyone celebrates Christmas.
That's true. Yeah. So we won't even. Well, yeah. Forget that part was mentioned. But yeah, Thanksgiving and um, So hopefully everyone has a
Well, can we really be
good week.
thankful when this country was built on murder and rape and like what are we thankful for?
You bring up a good point. Yeah. I mean this country was founded on stolen land. So
Columbus set foot on this country, on this land, and he said, I'm going to rape, pillage the village, women, and children. And that's what he did.
and that essentially you can see that today in America, in a reflection of America.
Oh, yeah, that's why, I mean, the founding fathers don't deserve any respect.
No, no, none. Um, yeah. On that note, any closing words?
Um, no, other than just congratulations, dude. Happy for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah. And yeah. I guess any final words from me, my end are fuck the faux king,
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah, fuck the faux king, and may Harambe's will be done.